Roll it up, tuck it in. This is where the 420 begins. Welcome to Animo's 420 Sesh, where we talk about cannabis, the most commonly used, federally illegal drug.
Yo, 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 it's Animo with Animo's 420 Sesh. How are you doing today? We got Boo Boo Cakes with us in the house. So good to have her as always.
Oh,
and we are starting episode 1 of many. I am so excited to start this process. What about you, Miss Boo Boo?
I'm feeling refreshed. I'm excited. I'm excited because, well, you're excited. And yeah, I mean, this is going to be cool. I've never done this, and yeah, this is me.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
stoked.
her.
I'm stoked.
So
I'm stoked.
we are starting episode 1 of many,
Yep,
and
yep.
it's all about marijuana,
Yeah.
specifically the benefits of marijuana and how they can help us, or how marijuana can help us overall. What I find interesting is that the state that we live in
Yep.
is it's illegal
Yep.
for recreation and medical use.
Yep.
There is this law that has passed for low THC oil that has less than 5% THC. And
What's that supposed to do?
Exactly, but here's the kicker. There are 18 different conditions in order to get it.
Oh.
And all of them are in reference to end-stage life. I'm thinking,
I want to live.
yeah,
Why don't help people live?
yeah. I mean,
I
why
don't
are we
know. I'm
giving
not
it to
that
them
all
at the
bright,
end of their
but-
life? So
Yeah, I don't understand why you would want to give it at the end of the life, rather than why don't you give it to me while I'm living and help me live longer?
yeah, that it just doesn't make sense. So,
Okay.
but anyway, I'm really excited today, Boo Boo Cakes. Oh, well, let
Yeah.
me just kind of introduce ourselves. I know, kind of going a little
Oh
sideways.
yeah.
Got a
It's
little
okay.
excited.
It's cool. No
So I'm
big deal.
Animo. I am your host, and
Yeah.
Boo Boo Cakes. This is my beautiful wife.
Hey.
Her name is Tyra.
Yeah.
Today is episode 1 of many,
Yeah.
and we're going to be having an awesome roundtable discussion
Yeah.
with about 5 or 6 other people.
And some fun.
Oh yeah,
We
always
need to have
fun.
some fun. I mean,
going
it can't
to
be all like boring stuff.
Take some smoke breaks because
You
that's
know what I'm
always
saying?
necessary.
Yeah.
Yeah. So interesting story about my wife and I. I'm a partaker. She is not.
I
Lord
don't.
Lettuce and I are 2 peas in a pod.
Yeah.
I mean, I was born on 420 at 4:26 p.m., so it couldn't get any better.
Yeah.
But my beautiful wife here is not a partaker. She
I
don't
don't.
drink. She don't smoke. What does she do? Well, she takes good care of me. That's
Orange
for sure.
juice. Gotta do that. And Coke Zero.
But when we first started
Yeah.
dating, people thought that she was my drug dealer
Yeah.
and not my girlfriend. So
Hello. Nope.
she actually knows more potheads or stoners
I do.
than I do.
Yes, I do.
So
They're cool people. I love them.
Yeah.
They're my peeps.
yeah, well, it takes 2 of us
Mm-hmm.
to, tango, and we are a perfect match. So
We are.
anyway, well, let's head off into our awesome roundtable with our groups. With our group of people, we're going to have several people here today, from
Yes.
non-users to users.
Yep.
So we just can kind of get a spectrum of experiences with marijuana. In
Yep.
future episodes, and we'll go into that here in just a little bit.
Oh yeah, we're just chilling.
Yeah, but
No
I
big
want to just kind of throw out my tagline here. You ready? I'm going to sing the song.
Oh god, okay, go ahead.
All right.
Okay.
Roll it up, tuck it up. This is where the 420 begins. Wait. I didn't
Roll it
say-
up. No, roll it up.
Roll
tuck
it up,
in.
tuck it in. This is where the 420 begins.
I gotta tell her everything.
I know, yeah. All
It's
right.
okay. Okay,
this is where
it.
we talk about cannabis, the most commonly federally used illegal drug. So let's check out this roundtable.
Yeah.
See you there.
Okay. I'll be there too.
Okay, Movie Cake. Love you.
Love you too.
And welcome back. It's so good to be back here. And as you can see, we have our amazing guests here today. So just kind of want to go around the room and introduce our peeps. We've got Miss Mallory over here. And then over to our right, well, I don't know how you're seeing it, but yeah, we've got my lovely wife, Tyra, and my mother-in-law, Cherie. And then below is Amy and Miss Angela. Anderson 650. What? She's in the house today. So it's so good to have you guys today for this round table discussion. We're gonna chat about our experiences with marijuana. So if you got it, let's smoke it. Yeah. All right. So we are just gonna kind of chill out and see what's going on with everybody. I just kind of want to go around the room today and let you introduce yourself. Tell me a little bit about yourself, like your name. Are you a user or not? And like, what's your demographics? Like maybe your age group or something like that. How about you, Mallory? Would you mind starting off?
Yeah, I'm Mallory. I am 23 years old. I am not a user. I have been around people who use, but me myself, I am not.
Very cool. Very cool. Thank you for being here so much. And how about we're gonna go with Miss Cherie over there.
Hello, everybody. Hi. Well, I'm the old girl here. I'm 76 years old, and I'm a non-user, though I did try it once. And
Don't lie. You know you
You
tried
I
it
don't
three
know, the
times.
drugs drive me crazy sometimes, so I might start. You never know.
How about you, Miss Tyra?
Well, I have been around people who smoke a long time, and like we said before, I know more potheads than you do. But I for a long time I didn't try it, and then I tried it, and then I'm like, what's the big deal? And then all of a sudden, like after like maybe what 10, 15 minutes, it hit me, and I'm like, oh, this is cool, this is good stuff. But I do not, as a rule, I don't smoke, and I don't smoke marijuana, and I barely drink, except for Coke Zero, and that's it. But I don't have any problem with anybody that does it. It doesn't bother me.
Well, you better not. You're married to me, and
I know, right? I'm married a pothead.
we got pot in our system.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
old are you, young lady? You look like
Oh,
you're
me?
29.
Oh,
This is my baby.
I'm 55. Yeah, but I act 12.
Yeah,
Okay,
she does.
that's so true. All right, and
Yeah.
how about Miss Amy?
I can figure out how to unmute. Hi, I am Amy. I am 45, and I am a user and have
Very
been for probably 30 years now.
Right on, girl. Do it.
all right. Very cool. Very cool. And last but not least, Miss Angela Anderson, 650.
Hey, what's up, everybody? So I'm on TikTok, Angela Anderson 650. Everybody calls me Angie outside of TikTok. My mother calls me Angela. You know.
Uh-oh.
I will be 51 on Earth Day. I am a user, um, medically and recreationally. I live in Maine. I currently am a production manager in a dispensary.
That's crazy.
So, you
That
know,
is crazy. So, what's it like being working in a dispensary? I mean, I think that would be a pretty cool gig.
well, that's what I thought too. I mean, it's fun. It has its days. I used to work a job where, I made six figures, and I said I wanted to do what I love and love what I do, so that I quit. Well, I resigned, and then went and I became a infused production tech, making gummies and all kinds of stuff. Did that for about 6 months, and then I moved from Virginia to Maine, and it's fun, and I'm learning a lot. It's way different up here in Maine than it is in Virginia. Um, it's way cheaper up here too.
Well, I know where
Mhm.
we're going, honey bunny.
Yeah, way cheaper.
Yeah, Virginia's expensive, by the way.
It is.
Well,
Yeah.
all right. So, thank you guys for introducing yourselves. I'm just so thrilled to have you all. I want to talk about today's goal of our conversation. It's just to have a diverse conversation about our different experiences with marijuana, different perspectives of it. I like the fact that we have a wide range of age groups so that we can have different people's perspectives and see what it's like. More than anything, I want to make sure that we foster a respectful environment. If you, anyway, yeah. So, anyway, let's see. Let me ask Amy, if you don't mind, how did you first encounter marijuana?
I was so funny when you said the questions. I was thinking about this, which I haven't in a very long time. So my first encounter was actually with my sister, who is about she's 7 years older than I am. We were just out hanging out one night, and somehow she drove us to this hole in the wall bar. Said, "I'll be right back." Ran inside. I was 14 at the time, so she ran inside, came back out, and was like, "Look what I have." She was like, "It's a joint. This is pot." And she was like, "Do you want to smoke it with me?" And I was like, "Heck yeah." So I just thought it was like the most amazing thing ever. I was like, "I have the coolest sister." Um, but it was crazy because I had, of course, I pretended like I felt something, didn't feel a thing. So I don't know if it's like I kind of feel like that's like a thing that happens everybody's first time. Like
Right.
I don't know why that is, but I feel like that's a thing. Um, so, but yeah, that was my first experience.
That's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Now, Cherie, that's a pretty cool experience that your sister did it. Cherie, what was your first experience with marijuana?
Well, let's see, it was about maybe 3 years ago, I think, sitting on the back porch with you and Tyra, and you were smoking a joint, and I think you offered it to me, or I asked if I could try it. So I inhaled twice, inhaled it, inhaled twice, and then I got really loopy. I mean, it was euphoric. I think I acted stupid. I might have took my clothes off. I don't know what I did. But then I said, I got to go to bed. And I said, no, that's not for me. It's not for me. I got to be in control.
Well, I know a little bit more about that story than she's letting on.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you agree, Booba Cakes?
Yes, ma'am.
I don't think it really hit you for a while. So, uh,
Yeah, it took a
I,
minute.
it did, but so I've been smoking around her since I came into the picture. There's no hiding, Mallory, that I smoke. It's very obvious. I probably smell like it constantly. I talk about it constantly. I dream about it constantly. But anyway, so she probably had like a contact high or something like that. That's what I'm thinking. Or she has partook in a previous life. But yes, she did woohoo flash us. That was
Oh
exciting.
yeah,
Oh, is that what I did? Okay.
boobs everywhere.
So that
Like
was good
mama,
times. That was good times.
your boobs are hanging out, dude.
Nothing like a good introduction to your mother-in-law, right?
Yeah, yeah. Like Anna hadn't met her like but 3 times, I think, and that was it. Like, mama, put the booze back.
Yeah. This is what marijuana does to the brain, right?
Oh god, don't. And yeah, and then she had to have a brain tumor removed right after that.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
did.
yeah, that's a whole other story.
Yeah,
But yeah, that is true. Marijuana did not cause the brain tumor. She was already
no, right.
walking
Yeah,
dead.
that's true. That did.
No, but she
We
told
could
the
do an
guy she had a
episode.
dog. Didn't tell the guy that she had a daughter.
That's
Another
another
episode. Was it
story,
pot or was it tumor?
right?
Yeah, yeah.
Potter
I
tumor.
don't. Yeah.
So I actually have a question for Miss Mallory. I'm really interested in your perspective of marijuana and the use of marijuana, only because I know that you are not a partaker, you don't use it. So, my question to you is what has motivated you to avoid trying marijuana?
It's a great question. Um, I've always been around it. I feel like, especially in high school, for me at least, that's when it is the most popular. So I definitely had some friends who would, do stuff here and then. Um, but me personally, like how Cherie was saying, I don't like to be not in control of my actions or kind of what's around me. That kind of makes me hesitant to use with anything, not just with um, smoking, stuff like that. Um, but yeah, I mean, I've been around plenty of people who do it, nothing I mean, I feel like they're just pretty chill. It's not like getting drinking and going nuts, but it's more like a zen, relaxing type of feeling. Um, but yeah, I mean, I have nothing against it. Plenty of people do it. I feel like it's more common nowadays. I feel like it's more legal as well in a lot of states than it used to be. So it's more the norm. But yeah, I mean, I just see how like other people, I just like to be in control of what I'm doing. So to give that up, it's like hard for me, and it just, I don't know, the smell too would probably be something else. But yeah, that's just kind of my take on it. Like my aunt, like she said, she does it. I mean, her birthday's 420, right? It's like meant to be. But yeah, no, definitely just I like being in control of what I'm doing. And yeah.
Thank you very much for that. Very interesting. Both you and Cherie mentioned being in control. And I'm very curious to know Angie and Amy's perspective on that statement because, in my experience, I have not noticed being out of control. If
Yeah.
anything, it makes me more in control of everything else. What do you see in that regard?
I'm the same. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'm the same as you. I mean, I I can drive better. I can have more patience. I don't get upset. I'm like, yeah, it is what it is. Let's just go with the flow. I have never felt out of control. See, when I was younger, I was a drinker. I smoked a couple times when I was in high school and whatever, but I was Boone's Farm, Strawberry Hill all the way. And I got sick off of all of it, so that I can't drink it at all. But it wasn't until, and in college I smoked a little bit, but it wasn't until I moved up here and I met this girl, and she was a complete stoner. So I was like, well, okay, I'll smoke. And I was a DJ, so I was, you know, out at the bar all the time and everything. And that was like my trademark. I started off every night of DJing with hits from the bong, and the live version. But yeah, I I've been smoking consistently since the year 2000, except for a week when I was in the hospital. Every day,
Wow.
every day. Some days where, like when I don't smoke at work. I hardly even at the job at being the production manager right now. I hardly smoke at work there. I mean, there's times we might have a safety meeting or something, but
That's the best
I
time to have it is in a safety meeting.
yeah, but and I don't smoke like I said, I don't smoke at work, but pretty much everywhere else I do, driving, everything. I've never felt out of control, but when I drink, I do.
Yeah. What
Or if
about
I take a pill or something, which I don't do either.
right? I totally am. It's interesting the perspective of a non-user versus a user. What about you, Amy?
So it's pretty much the same for me. I mean, I've done a lot of additional things besides smoking, and I would say just about everything else. There have been moments of out of controlness, like from, mushrooms to different types of speed, to a whole, I mean, I grew up in the country, like there was nothing to do but a variety of drugs.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and pot was just kind of always this thing that was where you could just relax. Like, I mean, my friends and I would get study groups together and study for tests and get high. And like we noticed in school, like if we, like the test that we studied for when we were stoned, we actually did better on than when we didn't have any to smoke and tried to study. Like it was just so much harder. Like we couldn't concentrate, we couldn't focus, we
Yeah.
were too stressed about not doing well. So I mean, yeah, I mean, driving has never been an issue. I've never had any issues with anything going to work. I did a job interview when I was in high school, stoned, just to see if I could get the job, which I did, and was great at the job. And I was high all the time, and then wound up smoking with my bosses, and you
Right
know,
on.
so it's just it's a chill thing. Like everybody that smokes is chill. I've never met anybody that smokes that is not just chill.
Yeah. I totally agree with you. Just a very interesting perspective. So I would love to put a pin in this and maybe come back to it at a little later to really dive into the experiences of a non-user and what has motivated them, like Mallory has mentioned, versus that of us users who are like the total opposite of what their belief or maybe even experience. I mean, Cherie indicates that she felt it was altering. I will indicate that in her experience, she did have a lot of, was it deja vu? It was deja vu. She had a lot of deja vu, and I'm just like,
I forgot about
Yeah,
that.
she had a lot of deja vu. She was freaking out.
Over and over and over.
well, that it kind of makes me want to ask a question. You have mentioned, Angie and even Amy, that the usage of marijuana has affected you basically daily in a daily way, in a positive format. So I think that is really really good. And my question is to Tyra, is that you have noticed you're not a user. You know that I am.
Right.
You know when I have it, and you know when I don't. You know when I'm
Oh
dry
yeah.
and when I am smoking it up.
Yes.
Have you noticed any changes in me, whether physically or mentally, emotionally,
Yes.
since or when I use marijuana versus that
Yes.
when I don't? Okay, can you
Oh yes.
explain that?
Yes. Yes. Most definitely. Excuse me. When you when you do not have it, when you have gone without it for a while, um, you are different. You are different. You become very um, agitated, is the word that I will use. Okay.
Would you agree,
Um,
Mallory?
I honestly don't know when you're on it or not.
I'm a
So
good
I don't
stoner
even
then.
I
know.
would just go with the flow and say she's always on it, but when she's
Okay.
Except at
off,
work.
Okay.
oh, look, let me tell you something. When you are not on it, and Mallory, let me just tell you, when she's not on it, she's very aggravated, and she gets very agitated,
Mm.
and she gets, I mean, almost, in my opinion, angry. Because when she does get it, the very first thing she does is lights up her pipe, and then it's almost like the first toke that she takes. You can see, seriously, no joke. I mean,
Change.
the change in her immediately. It's like she goes from this down to here, and
It
Mm.
it's just
is.
like she
It's
turns back into another person. Like she gets back to herself. You know what I'm saying? Because it is totally, it is altering to her when she can't have it, when she doesn't have it.
yeah. Thank you.
It's just true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, see, I think it's kind of like if you have, ADHD or whatever, and you get Ritalin. Like, if you have something, because I use it medically. I had the worst case of endometriosis that my doctor said she'd ever seen. It was
Oh,
terrible.
wow.
And it took them like 7 years to figure it out, but that's what I used for pain. I never took anything stronger than a Tylenol. I can't.
Wow.
And whether eating, you know, eating it in gummies or cookies or brownies or whatever, or drinking it or smoking it or vaping it, whatever, it has always it helps, all the pain that I have. And if you know the different strains with the different terpenes and stuff like that, I mean, it's kind of harder when you're getting it from the local plug, but if you're in a place where it has a dispensary and you can figure all that stuff out, you can figure what's better for what. I mean, that's what's kept me going and not taking like any pills. I went to a doctor. I was married, and she pieced out, and so I went to the doctor because I couldn't sleep, and she wanted to give me Klonopins, and I was like, does anything affect these? And she was like, you mean like alcohol? She's like, yeah, you shouldn't drink one of them. I was like, no. And she was like, you mean like weed? I said, yeah. And she was like, do you smoke it? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, every day? And I was like, yeah, you could say that. And she was like, more than twice a day? I was like, yeah. She was like, more than like 10 times a day? I was like, pretty much. And she goes like, how long have you been smoking? I said, consistently since the year 2000, except for a week. And she was like, oh my God, they need to do a study on you.
That is
Oh
so
But
yeah.
cool.
I got a memory like an elephant though.
I
Like I can
know.
tell you I've been out of school for a long time, and I can tell you every single one of my teachers' names. I got a lot of useless knowledge up here that comes with smoking too.
That's so cool. That
I
is
throw
so
that
cool.
out later. I keep it back here and throw it out and make me look smart at a later time.
Very cool. Um, Cherie, I have a question for you, and then I mean, basically anybody can answer, but I'm asking you specifically. How do you think societal attitudes have changed over time about marijuana?
Well, definitely they have changed. It's more acceptable. Uh, you're not looked down on, for smoking it. Uh, I just think our society is changing, yes, and I think that it is, like I said, more acceptable.
Yeah,
There's some, things like, I have friends that probably, wouldn't approve if I smoked it. Now I smoke regular cigarettes, and they don't even like me doing that.
And isn't that funny how that's all legal and this isn't?
Yeah, yeah,
the
but
thing that will cause you to need marijuana is legal. Cancer. The cigarettes will cause
mhm,
cancer.
It even
And then
says
you
it
have
on the box.
marijuana to help control the marijuana. I mean, the cancer. That's
mhm,
backwards.
yeah, yeah, it is. But like I said, my friends, don't smoke it or don't smoke at all, really. And
Goody two shoes.
mhm,
They're goody two shoes.
yeah, good tissues.
You're not
I
a
think
goody
my
two
friend
shoe when
Cindy
you're
would
around
probably
us.
try it.
Cindy would do it.
Yeah, I have
Yeah.
a friend who has dementia, and we've been friends for
So funny.
As long as I've been
oh
alive.
gosh, 40 years or more. And she's moved here to Georgia. She was from Texas, and her husband moved here, and she has dementia, uh, pretty bad, And I think that would probably help her. I really
Mhm.
do.
I actually think dementia is one of those 18
Illnesses.
diagnoses you have to have in order to get the low THC oil here.
Yeah,
So
But
I just wanted to,
that low THC oil, that's a good start
yeah.
yeah.
because that's how it started in Virginia.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That you could only get, and it was low THC doses, and you could only get and it said on the license, it said cannabis oil.
Yeah.
You couldn't get, like, if you went to, like, when I come up here, they they weren't supposed to, but they did. sell me something other than cannabis oil.
Mm.
And then they took it up to where it could be the whole flower and
Cool.
everything.
So,
But
so
West Virginia is a lot like that. Like West Virginia doesn't offer any reciprocity. Like they don't accept any out of staters unless you can prove that you're terminal.
wow.
Mhm. Mm.
I just
Virginia
find
doesn't accept you at all.
I
Yeah.
just, I just find it super interesting, Mallory. I think you missed it this morning. We were talking about how this state is not legal recreationally or medically, but it's kind of you can have up to 5% THC oil. You can have marijuana oil, THC oil, but it can't be more than 5%, whatever. And that it's specifically for people basically on the end of life, basically. And so it's just kind of interesting that why would we give it to somebody at the end of life when we could preserve their life, extend their life by giving them something that would actually be beneficial for them. So,
RSO. RSO is a magnificent thing.
oh
I mean,
yeah,
I was telling you the other night, there's I told somebody at work, to put it in her belly button. She said she got really bad cramps. And I have seen videos where women are taking just a smidge and putting it in their belly button when they have cramps. It doesn't get you high or anything, but
just
you don't feel your cramps. I mean,
yeah,
it's a wonderful plant if people would just give it a chance. And
mm-hmm,
I mean, it would help a lot of people. A lot of
yeah,
people.
totally.
Mhm.
Um, so just kind of thinking about that, we've got several podcasts coming up when we're talking about how it could be used beneficially and things of that nature. Um, and I know that you have used it, Angie, in a medical marijuana purposes way. I have specifically. I do suffer from bipolar depression, anxiety, a range of other things, and then specifically physically or whatever. I have major GI issues that have put me
Mhm.
in the hospital multiple times with considerable weight loss that's not warranted. Uh, very sick
Makes you very
and
sick.
very sick. And I have utilized marijuana in medical ways to help me. Like Tyra was saying earlier, it's very good for my mental health. I need it for my mental health. And
Mhm.
actually, I'm talking to somebody later this weekend or later this week, I mean, who deals specifically with marijuana, anxiety, and depression. So you'll definitely want to pop in on that one as well. So, but as we kind of close up this session, it's been so awesome having you. I just kind of want to get from all of you, what are your final thoughts or reflections you'd like to share on marijuana, your experience with marijuana, user or not a user? Anybody? Don't be shy.
Oh, I'm not shy.
No, I tried
Um,
Bibba Cakes.
no, I'm not shy at all. Mm-mm. I think they should just go on and legalize it. I mean, it's a pain in the butt for having, you seeing these people getting arrested, for just having a little marijuana on them, and you got all these killers and people who are, child molesters out here that need to be, locked up, cut their dicks off, whatever you want to call it. You know what I'm saying? And just because somebody's got a little flower on them, who cares? I mean, really, think about it. It's so ridiculous. If somebody wants to go and have some in their house and smoke a little bit, and even if they're out somewhere, who cares? People are smoking cigarettes.
That's worse.
I mean, I
People
look at
are
cigarettes.
drinking and driving for
Listen,
crying out loud.
listen, Linda.
Yeah,
I am
marijuana's
like
never killed
this.
nobody.
Right.
Hello?
I mean, I'm like this. My entire family, I grew up with a family of smokers. Okay. It ain't pretty. Let's just forget it. Let's just go on, legalize it, and be done with it. That's it. I mean, it's really simple. And I don't smoke, but I do not have a problem with it in any realm of it at all. Just don't.
Cool. What
Yeah.
about anybody else? Anybody else got final thoughts? I know you got some, Angie.
I got lots of thoughts on it. I mean, I don't see where it does any harm. I mean, it doesn't, what I'm doing doesn't hurt anybody else. I mean, unless they're in the room with me, and if they say they don't like it, well, get the fuck out, you know. And this is my house, but I respect other people's opinions and or and whatnot. So if somebody doesn't like it, I wouldn't do it in front of them or whatever. But they would want me to go over there and do it because it's
Yeah,
it's like it's like it's good for my mental health. It keeps me calm because I
right.
don't want no Anderson fit coming out, and they aren't pretty. So it keeps me calm. It keeps me grounded.
Hell yeah.
And overall, it should be legalized everywhere
Yeah,
because even hemp, it can make clothing.
I
They're making hemp
know.
houses. They're making, they can make anything out of it. It's like plastic, but it's hemp.
Tattoos.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
crazy.
it's a great, great thing, and it should be legalized, and hopefully one of these days. I mean, that's all we got to do for this country.
Right.
If Mr. Dumpy Pants figured it out, legalize marijuana and put a tax on it, there you go.
You know,
There
I
you go.
I agree. It needs to be federally legal. So,
Mm.
absolutely. What about anybody else? Mallory, Amy, what y'all got?
I mean, I'm definitely all for legalization. I know it's been close before being federally legal, and I think we need to, like Angie said, let's push it over, let's tax it, and then also, like Angie said, like there's so much tailoring you could do to specific needs, and so much
Mhm.
help that could be given to people that need it. And then it would also help everybody just calm the hell down.
Right. Agreed.
Just calm down. Everybody would be nice. Like,
Yep.
uh,
What about you, Mau?
Do it. If the whole world
Oh.
were smoking it, just think what a wonderful world it would be.
Oh, I need,
We could
yeah,
sing Kumbaya. I mean,
yeah, for
I want a
sure.
song about it. Write a song about it.
There you go.
Shoot, it would be a
Everybody would
wonderful
love
place.
everybody.
Ah, Mau, what about
Mm.
you?
Um, I think it's a pretty good take as far as like health wise. It's kind of interesting how maybe it's because of like lack of knowledge as to why it's not
Mhm.
like for the belly button thing, I would have had no idea because I wouldn't have known, you know? So it's kind of interesting to see that because of the things we don't know, we're scared of it in a way.
Hmm.
With all the other things that are going on, I feel like it's not that, like how Angie said, no one's really died from it, like as far as like drunk driving, drinking and driving, stuff like that, So it's kind of
Right.
Yeah.
interesting
It's because we're all
to
going
see.
25 miles an hour.
I know. Seriously.
That's too funny.
So
or we
yeah, that's
just
Well,
pretty
never left the
neat.
house.
right. I would love to have you guys back on at a future date because I feel like there's so much more that we could definitely can talk about. Specifically, your Mallory, your take on why you have been motivated not to take it, and then your opinion. I don't know if it's an experience, but maybe an opinion of feeling like it is an altering, life altering drug kind of a thing. Like in my mind, when I hear that, I think of alcohol or cocaine or
Mhm.
fentanyl
Acid.
or acid. Oh yeah, and I mean I've tried a lot of different drugs, and
Mushrooms.
marijuana, in my experience, has not altered me in any way, shape, form, or fashion.
I mean,
It,
the only way it's altered me is it's like couch locked my legs and I'm not
yeah,
able to feel them for
in
like
the
3 or 4 hours.
couch, baby,
You know,
in the
that's it.
couch.
Oh my
Um,
God.
but anyway, so yeah, maybe Mallory, Angie, Amy. I know Tyra will be back on. Maybe y'all would like to be back on later on at a later date. We can continue this conversation as we continue to explore the topics of marijuana. I can't say thank you guys enough for being a part of this show today. It's been awesome having you. Go Tyra, go baby, go boo boo, yeah, dance it up. Oh yeah, that's something Angie does. So I have an idea. I'm just springing this on you. Why don't let's just kind of jam it out? I'll throw some music on and let's just.
I'll do it. Yeah. But you know,
All
like,
right.
All right.
Yeah.
Let me find some music.
I've had a great time, and I would love to come back anytime.
Awesome.
man,
Well-
Angie, you are the bomb.com.
Y'all make me blush. Don't do that.
I got my shaggy hat on. You
All
know what I'm
right.
saying?
Well, I am
Second,
going to
drinking the
say
Kool-Aid.
farewell. Peace out. 420 it up. You know what time it is. 420. Peace out.
Later.
Peace out.